Okay, second thing is we have a class web page. So that web page is on the e-learning system. Our university basically changed the system. There were two old systems. They are outdated and they won't be used anymore. Okay, so there's one called ILMS. We used to use that a few years ago. So there won't be anything there. This is only e-learn. I don't like that system much, but anyway. And the other thing is, if any student want to add this course, that will be fine because we do have enough seats. So I will approve them. So that's fine. So just make sure that you guys get on the e-learn system because the lecture notes, assignments will be posted there. We do have some assignments. And yeah, speaking of the assignment, there's already one assignment that is released today. I will explain that. That assignment is kind of like a prerequisite. So it's a warm-up programming exercise just to make sure that you guys can do some programming because the core class material actually requires some programming techniques. Okay, so this is me, Scott Huang. You guys can just call me Scott. And there's not too much prerequisite. The only one is that you guys have to at least know some programming languages. So then you guys can do the assignments. That's the only thing. And actually, we don't limit the programming languages to the C or C++. It's not restricted. It's just, generally speaking, except for the first programming exercise, programming assignment, you guys can use any programming languages you want. Some students prefer Python, but the first one you cannot use Python. I'll explain later. Because the first one is related to the big number programming, and then Python already have built-in functionalities for big numbers. There's no limit on the size of an integer, so it makes no sense to use Python for the first time because there's simply nothing to do. So except for the first one, you guys can pretty much use any programming languages you want. So it's not just basic C programming, just some programming languages. Okay, and we will be using some concepts from discrete mathematics. Not too much, but just some basic ones, and also abstract algebra as well, a little bit. Yeah, not too deep. So if you guys have no idea about these things, that will be fine. Yeah, because we will start from scratch, and then a little bit of data structures and algorithms. Okay, this is our course objective: learning the background of cryptography, understand cryptographic techniques, and so on and so forth. So you guys can take a look. Oh, by the way, this lecture 0, okay, I also call admin has already been posted on the e-learn system. So just make sure that you guys check e-learn. And then you have to use your student ID and password to log in, to log onto the e-learn system to be able to access these class material. Okay. And there's no required textbooks there. Well, we just use our slides. I used to have one, but not anymore. And there is a reference book. This book was free online. And we extract some parts of the from this book. Okay. And this book is really big and contains everything. So it's not possible to cover them all. And this book is a little old, so it doesn't cover elliptic curve cryptography. So that's one of the reasons why we don't use this. But this is listed as one of the reference books. And anything you guys, anything that is not too new, anything before 1980s, before the 80s, you can find really detailed explanations in this book. Okay, and then we will also we also want you guys to read some related research papers. So there won't be any final exams. So instead, you guys look at read some research papers and give a presentation. So that's pretty much what it is. Okay. The assessment, we have 4 assignments. Those are programming assignments using C, C++, Python, whatever, programming languages, Java. So there are 4 programming assignments, and there's 1 written exam. So this is paper-based, in class. That will be held in class. Okay. If the COVID condition is good, if we can have a physical class, then that written exam will be held physically in this classroom. If anything happens, if we're locked down or something, then I will make other arrangements. Okay, maybe I will change that to a presentation or something. So that really depends, because unexpected things do happen, and we don't know what will be what will happen. So hopefully everything is good. We can have a physical exam. That will make things a lot easier. Yeah, because it's according to our past experiences, it's almost impossible to hold a written exam online. It's not possible, to be fair. So according to our past experiences, like that. So it makes the instructor and the TAs very difficult. Okay. So anyway, just 1 exam, and we don't have any final exam, so just 1 final presentation. The presentation is something like 15 to 20 minutes per student. Okay, so you will be required to read some research papers. I will give you a list of related research papers from really recent conferences. So then you guys can choose, and then you guys fill out the form. I will make a Google form. You guys choose a topic, choose a paper, and also choose the time slot, just 15 to 20 minutes. And that will happen in the last month. So that will be something like in June. Okay. So these are the deadlines. So we have 4 programming assignments. So the first one is already released today. So that's a warm-up exercise. So it's just handling big numbers, so adding 2 numbers, really big numbers, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and also mod, like 5 operations. And these numbers are really big because it's one of the most important building blocks of cryptography. In a lot of our algorithms, we'll be handling really, really large numbers. We'll take 1 example. So let's talk about this. Let me give you guys an example. So the RSA. So this is like one of the most fundamental cryptographic algorithm called RSA. It's invented by 3 people, and if we take their initial of their family names, that'll be RSNA. So it's Ron Rivest at MIT, and then Shamir and Adelman, 3 professors. And this is the most important algorithm in this course. Okay? They will be using really large numbers. So on average, the numbers, the integers they use, they're at least 300 digits. 300 digits. That's on the decimal scale. So 10进位的话，差不多300位，这是非常大，一般计算机算不了。一般计算机只有8位。So on the most fundamental calculator, you can only handle 8 digits decimal number, and this requires 300 digits at least. And then This is the old version of the 300 digits. So the newer versions, 600, 1200 digits. They're not surprising. So that's really big. And most of these algorithms, these algorithms, they do require handling these really large numbers. And then the numbers, those handling those numbers, making them, implementing their arithmetic operations, additions, subtractions, it's unrelated to our to this course, right? It's totally unrelated. So those can be regarded as a prerequisite. That's why we do have an assignment today. Yeah, that's the first assignment. So it's already released today because we don't need anything to do these assignments. And then you guys have a little more time to do this assignment. So the deadline, I set this deadline to March 6th. Okay, so you guys have like 3 weeks to do that. I'll give you a time to understand how our assignments will be like. Okay, so all these 3 assignments, 2, 3, 4, they're just similar to this one. And then they will use them as a subroutine as well. Okay, and I don't require you guys to use your assignment 1 to do assignment 2, 3, 4. Actually, assignment 2 doesn't need assignment 1, but assignment 3 and 4 do need assignment 1. Okay. In something sometime like 5-6 years ago, I didn't make this assignment 1. So 5 years ago, our assignment 1 would simply be DES or something else similar to that. Then I realized that a lot of students have problems. The problems, sometimes oftentimes their code does not work because they have problems in big number handling, big number arithmetic. Just too many students, too many students are like that. Then I realized that I really have to separate this subject as one independent assignment. Otherwise, everything is related to these big numbers. So a lot of times, oftentimes these algorithms are easy, and it's not hard, but you have to use big number as a subroutine. If you have any bugs in your big number implementation, then you have a problem, right? And to make things even worse, most likely you don't know what the problem is because the problem is not in your most likely not in your assignment. Assignment 3, assignment 4 themselves. The problem is in assignment 1. So it's very difficult to debug. So if you guys are not really familiar with handling these big numbers, you can do an assignment 1 separately. And then when you guys do assignment 3 and 4, you can use other programming languages or any software packages that support big numbers. So that you won't get into any problems with these big numbers. You don't have to use the code you write in your assignment 1. Okay? Yeah, just to make things easier. Otherwise, it will be difficult. 所以大数很容易错，非常容易错。我刚才已经讲，所以3跟4的这个作业没有一定要用这个啊，你可以这个用 C 写，那你这2个用 Python 写，那你不会有问题。这东西超级难 debug。但发生了就是非常麻烦。Okay, so that's it. And then presentation, we'll probably have 1 month for presentation time. And before that, we'll give you a list of related research papers from pretty much two conferences. Generally speaking, I'll give you guys a choice of something like 200 papers to choose from. And then as we move on, you guys will have at least have some rough idea about cryptographic algorithms, what they are like. Okay? So like when we get into the middle, you guys will have an idea. Then you can choose the topics you like for the final presentation. Okay. And then so I'll basically this course, the class material will end in like late late May or something. And then after that, there will be our presentation time. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so this is something that I really have to stress every time. So that's academic dishonesty, that's plagiarism. Okay, 这就是不要抄这个抄作业的事情。So it happened many times in the past. So it's a serious matter. So don't copy other students' assignments. So do everything yourself. Actually, what happened was, actually not this course. I think another course of mine. There was some time, like 1 or 2 years ago. There was a student who actually posted a message on the Facebook group or something, asking one of my assignment solutions for $100 NT. That happened in the past. Can you guys believe that? Then that's racist. 真的有同学这样，真的是有同学这样子。在好像清大的二手社团公开征求黄之浩老师的 assignment 的解答，对，然后好像原本不知道是200还是多少，最后为什么会发现呢？因为好像价钱谈不拢还是怎样，而且这不是只有我的而已哈，还有别的老师有发这样子，这真的是蛮夸张，我真的是非常傻眼哈。Okay, anyway, so this type of thing is considered really serious because this is cheating, right? This is cheating. And when I was in the United States, when I was a student, things happen as well. But in the United States, because their tuition fees are really high, right? It's really expensive. Generally you have to spend something like at least $1 million NT. At my time, 1 million NT dollars per year. But now I think it's more, at least 1.5. 在美国那个时候，你要在一年大概就是我当时我是2000到2005那阵在美国嘛，一年100万，现在应该不止，现在大概150以上。公立大学美国的，私立大概可能200，就是说一年的总费用。So the tuition is really high, right? It charges you an arm and a leg. So if you copy any student's assignment, what happens is that if you're on scholarship, your scholarship will be canceled. So that's really serious. So that means most likely you can't go on unless you have enough funds. You will lose your scholarship, and then lots of students they just leave the U.S. So that's really serious. So similar things are not, compared to the United States, we're not like that because our tuition is really cheap. Okay, so you don't have this happening. But anyway, these are still really serious. 但美国这次就很严重，对啊，我讲你只要抄作业被抓到一次，基本上奖金就没了，奖金没了当然就要。那台湾学费太低了，没有这个问题。但是不知道大家知不知道大家知道就我们的政治人物都有很多这些事情，谁年轻的时候没有去抄人家作业，或是很少嘛，也有被抄的啊。比方我们讲宋楚瑜，他就被他以前在政大就是，他是喊冤啊，宋楚瑜大家知道嘛？哈，选过总统。他说我是被抄的啊，他朋友说可不可以借抄一下，他就借，因为他人好，他借抄就被抓到了。他这个时候等到你选总统就被人家攻击说，这个年轻人都作弊，很多时候这事情。那也有子虚乌有的，比方说像马英九的太太周美婷，说他什么他在哈佛他在偷报纸，不知道你知不知道？反正什么事情哈，当然我会想说同学们要选总统机会不高。但是也不是说你完全不可能发生，你知道意思吗？哪天你要不管是参政或什么，你祖宗8代就被人家爬出来，这个年轻的时候怎么样？那像我们知道，像大陆哈，像之前我在留学的时候，那时候要考 GRE 嘛，那时候 GRE 就是在那个考英文的那个 ETS Education 什么 Training Services， 就有人作弊啊。那作弊最多就是那个就是大陆那边的新东方嘛，那个新东方这个补习班，整个补习班作弊，对啊，整个补习班作弊啊，后来被抓到啊，对啊，这事情是多少个？那以前像也有说什么公车逃票的啦，好啊，就是作弊被抓到，这种事情在抓到，基本上在欧美都相当严重，都非常他们都非常，他们罚很重。所以我的意思是说，不要为这种小事情去增加你的风险。像我们台湾东方跟西方东方跟西方的这个思维不太一样。就是说我们东方人啊，大部分就是说西方人是这样，先把你当，我碰到一个不认识的，先把你当成人来看，好，那我先把你当人，叫人本主义。那如果你证明说你是小偷，哈，之后就被当成贼，就是这样。东方人刚好相反，我在不认识的情况之下，我先把你当成贼，好，你必须证明你不是贼。啊，你证明你不是贼，那我把你当人看。这个最明显的例子是什么？大家如果去欧洲啊，你去坐他们你去坐他们地铁，你知道啊？欧洲你看，比方说你去意大利或是奥地利、德国那地铁是不查票的，你就直接进去啊，对吧？就直接进去，然后坐火车也都通不用查，对吧？那你被抓到一次，你就没有票，就是这样，偶尔会查一下。就罚你500倍，一次500倍，而且被查到一次之后，你只要有这个记录以后就非常麻烦了，对不对？不管你要申请奖学金或申请工作，你的记录就永远在那里。美国也是这样子，你只要你贷款有任何一次违约的记录，你就非常麻烦，你的信用就没了。他们就这样，罚很重的。台湾就是你要进去，你一定要先查票，所以你才不会有这个问题。对，先把你当成贼，我先assume你就会逃票。对。那欧洲也不同国家有不一样，比方说法国巴黎地铁是要查票的，因为但是它是管进不管出的，就是你进去要，出不用。如果在那个巴黎市区中心是不用，可是意大利、德国、奥地利那些其他的那些地铁是不用查票的，你就直接走进去，对啊，你就直接走。那站务员我也没被查票过，很少，对啊，那个。大部分欧洲国家都这样子，但你查到一次就是500倍。Okay, so that's regarding plagiarism. For our assignments, our late policy is 3 days after the deadline. So, and then we will deduct some points, 10% per day. Okay, 10% of maximum grades per day. If you guys have any questions, you can reach me and emails. I will check my emails many times a day. So generally speaking, I will reply to emails at least on a daily basis. Sometimes I get too many emails a day. I may not respond immediately, but I will respond on the same day. Okay. And then if you guys want to reach me for a faster response, you can include this title, so then I would know that okay, this is one of our students that's sending me an email. So I will reply these type of email, with this title, with this title, at a faster rate. Okay, so that's this. So this is lecture 1. Okay, let's take a look at this assignment 1. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Don't know. One. Oh, here. Okay, here. So this is assignment 1. So this is a big number. This is a big number. You guys have 3 weeks, 3 whole weeks to do this assignment. And the deadline is March 6th. When I refer to a date, the deadline is actually due at the last minute, so it's 11:59 p.m. So that will be a Sunday night, 3 weeks from now. Okay. Sunday night. And the you guys are required to implement this 5 arithmetic algorithms: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo operations. 5 of them. So this modulo, if you guys know what this means, this is according to C programming style. It's A divided by B and take the remainder. So A除以 B 找一个余数呀。比方7骂的5就是2的意思啊，就除以5余数是2。So you take the remainder for these 5 operations. And the input is something like this. And I use hex numbers to represent that. So the hex number, you guys know what the hex number means? So hex number, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10. Okay, so the hex number. So one, first we, for these numbers we can convert it into a binary number. So for binary number, this is 0, 1. Okay. So this is binary. Okay. 0, 0, 1, 0. So decimal 10 is 0, 1. Decimal 2 is 0, 1, 0. So these are decimal numbers. Okay. Until 8. 8 is 1, 0. Yep. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 4, 8. Right? So let's say we call this A. So let's see, we call this A0, and then this A1, A2, 3. So to convert a binary number, this is actually A3 times 2 to the power of 3, right? I think you guys should. Yeah. If you guys are not familiar with those, that'll be fine. I mean, it's just take a look at this binary number conversion. A1 times 2 plus A0. So this digit, the least significant digit, tells you is it an even number or odd number? So odd or even parity. 这也就是告诉你奇数偶数嘛，0的1次方加上0的，这个应该说0倍的2的1次方，0倍的，对不起，0倍的2的0次方。0倍2的0次方，那这是第一个digit，这是第一个digit 2的1次方。So this is the least significant bit. Least significant bit. Least significant. This is the most significant bit. The least significant bit is multiplied by the power of 2, right? 2 raised to the power of 0, which is 1. Okay, so this is expansion. So we have 15. 15 is 1, 1, 1, 1. So 4 digits can represent a 4 digits can represent numbers from 0 to 15. Okay. And then we generally we take these two together. So 1, 1. Okay. So 1, 1 is actually 3. Right? 1, 1 is actually 3. So altogether, so this is decimal, this is binary, and then hex numbers is just a little more than decimal numbers. So starting from 0 to 9, they're the same as decimal numbers. But 10, we get A. So from here we have A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay. So then we have these numbers. So F actually means 15. Okay. So and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A is 10. So each digit represent 4 bits. So all together, okay, there are some bits. So the input is like this, input, and then the output is like this. Okay. So that's the. And I don't require you guys to do the same thing as as this. This is just an example. You can do whatever whatever programming language you're familiar with. This is just an example. There's really no need to write it this way. If you're not familiar with C++, then just choose any programming languages you're familiar with. That's it. Okay, so give you a warm-up exercise. So all programming exercise will be like that. So this is assignment 1. Okay, so back to our main topic. These slides can be downloaded on the class web page on the e-learning system. So this is what we're going to learn. So what is cryptography? Yeah, you guys can take a look. Okay, so let's talk about some history. So this is steganography. Okay. It's a kind of like an art form. And if you guys read scientific novels or Sherlock Holmes, like these novels, and this is one one piece of, I think, from taken from Sherlock Holmes. It contains some secret messages. I'll give you guys 30 seconds. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to take a look. And it looks like a letter. It looks like a letter, but there's some secret messages. Some secret messages contained in there. So I'll give you guys 30 seconds to figure out. Anybody figure out? This is an old form of cryptography, right, called steganography. Steganography. 有同学看出来什么吗？就从应该是福尔摩斯里面揭露出来，应该是某一个帮派分子写给他们的帮派，叫他们干一些事情，然后看起来很像一封信，在里面就是有一些这个密语在里面。There are many examples like this. If you guys just Google steganography. So you guys look at the last word of each line, and you get a secret message. Okay. So this is one example. So this is an old form of cryptography. Okay. Anything you communicate with another party, and then you have some secret information, right? That can be considered cryptography as well. And one of the oldest form is you use some secret writing. Okay, secret writing. This is another example. So this example is a little harder. Okay, this example is a little harder. I took this from mostly. That's great. Okay, another example. You guys just take a look. You guys just take a look. So this is old days. Secret writing. So it's kind of like encryption. But these things are useless. Why? Because from an algorithmic point of view, you don't have a definite way to encrypt, or you don't have a deterministic way to do encryption and decryption. You're not guaranteed that you can always decrypt a message, right? If you're dumb, you're just too dumb. You can't decrypt because there's no deterministic way. What we want is a deterministic way. So you use this algorithm, you guarantee that you can generate some output. You can encrypt a message, and then you use the inversion, the reverse method. You can decrypt. You're guaranteed. You always guarantee that you can decrypt. So that's from an algorithmic point of view. So these secret writing cannot be used, from an algorithmic point of view. You cannot write a program to encrypt and decrypt because the method is unclear. Okay. There are many things like that. A lot of science fictions or yeah. These are one of the art forms. And today we definitely won't talk about this technology. Today we have pretty much these three categories. This is the thing we will be learning in this course. Number one, conventional cryptography, or AKA symmetric cryptography. This is something that we're going to learn today, starting from today. To put it in an easy way, the conventional cryptography or symmetric cryptography is that when you encrypt a message and you decrypt a message, you have to use the same key as conventional cryptography. Okay? And you want to have a deterministic algorithm. So you give any input, you can, as long as the input satisfies your requirement, you can generate an output, a fixed output. And then when you have an encrypted message, aka cipher, cipher text, you can always decrypt if you have a key. That's symmetric. So when you do encryption and decryption, you use the same key. It's very natural. So nobody would think, generally speaking, no normal people would think you actually need a different key for encryption and decryption. Right? But it turned out that you do have some advantages if you use a different key. When you use a different key, then things will get a lot more complicated. Later we'll see a lot of algorithms, a lot of examples. You will know why. The reason is when you give a different key. So the encryption is simply you have plain text. So this is plain text, plain text. And then I have cipher text. Cipher text is cipher text. The cipher text is encrypted text. Okay. So this is encryption. This is decryption. If you use the same key, that means when you go from plain text to ciphertext and you go from ciphertext to plain text, you take the same route. That's very natural. But if let's say you use different key, that means you take a different route. You take a different way to go from a plain text to ciphertext, and you take a different way back. Not everything has a different way, right? If it's not carefully designed, then from an ordinary design method, normally, most likely you don't have two different ways to reach the same target. So those systems, those crypto systems, have to be carefully designed, and there has to be some mathematical structure in order to have two different ways. That is why these things are not very natural. However, if you can manage to design a system like that, to take different routes, then you do have some advantages, and those advantages are not known to the conventional cryptography. So this type is called asymmetric key or public key cryptography. So we have a synonym. The public key cryptography is actually asymmetric key. 这个叫做公开金钥，这个密码系统，这两个是同义词 ，public key 是这个意思，在我们这堂课里面， 那 symmetric key 呢，我们叫做 private key cryptography. So private key cryptography is symmetric key cryptography or symmetric cryptography. Public key cryptography is asymmetric. Asymmetric cryptography. They're synonyms. They're so this actually opened new doors of cryptography. And this happened something like 40 years ago. So 40 years ago, we have this RSA was the first one. Actually, right before RSA, there are some professors. They proposed the idea of asymmetric cryptography. Right before that, that's 1976, and RSA was roughly designed in 1976 to 74 to 76. That's 45 years ago. About my age, because I was born in 1976. So, and this is a really classic algorithm. And we'll explain the RSA because this is the first asymmetric cryptography crypto systems designed 45 years ago. And it's designed by 3 professors led by Ron Rivest. We'll see this name a lot. Ron Rivest. He's a professor at MIT. Okay? And because this was too successful, he designed the RSA. And it was just way too successful. So not only did he get the Turing Award. The Turing Award is kind of like the highest award in computer science because there is no Nobel Prize. Okay, there is Nobel Prize in only 5 scientific areas. There's another one. So another one is that's not scientific. Okay. 诺贝尔奖没有 computer science 嘛。So Turing Award is the best. And not only that, he actually started a company called RSA Technologies. And if you guys know that, generally speaking, people like me, like professors, when they start a business, they go broke. Most likely. I'm not saying they're bad business, not always bad business leaders, but there's really a lot of them. A lot of them are like that. This is one of the really few examples that you can, a professor can both do academic research and business. 真是非常少见，例子不多，大部分教授出去开公司，最后是赔钱的，绝大部分。因为学术研究跟实际上要能赚钱，那个落差还是蛮大的，很少有。说教授出去开公司，然后还可以经营得非常好，这是一个非常罕见的例子。另外还有几个例子，以后我们再慢慢讲，不多啦，大部分，或者说，这某种人做菜很好吃，你说他可以去开餐厅，我跟你讲，这种做菜好吃的开餐厅就是倒闭，就这样。为什么？你不计成本做当然好吃啊，你的餐厅要成功，其实就是必须要有利润嘛。那你怎么样有利润？怎么样利润？你要黑心才有利润，要利润就是这样，也不是说黑心的，就你要有利，你餐厅成不成功跟你做菜好不好吃，大部分这关系是很小的，绝大部分就是说你的利润够不够，对吧？你要好吃，其实就用最好的料就可以。那你要用到不是那么好的料，又要让大家觉得好吃，然后要享受到这个价值，愿意掏这么多钱去吃，你才有办法赚钱。对，基本上就这样子，所以很多都这样，像比如说红海其实很多他们是不赚钱的，价钱都那么清楚，这是很难赚钱的。红海是这样，但我有一个我有一个表弟，他在红海啊，他是在那个机壳部门，对，那个机壳部门，他的机壳那个表面的处理质感非常好。红海这种公司也很怪，你哪有说你开一间公司你只有一个客户的，很少嘛，对不对？他这间公司这样，他就只服务一个客户，几乎嘛。当然他可以很成功啊，因为他有不可替代性。 那个机壳，你手机机壳，你找别家做就做不了它那么漂亮，那个摸起来触感就不一样。那你知道那机壳鸿海它全世界就是有某些机壳的款式只有鸿海有办法做，它有办法做得这么漂亮，那个表面处理得非常好。因为你要用那个表面处理，你就必须要用特制的机台，那个机台那一台机器就上亿了，然后那个机器你还买不到，鸿海它可以自己设计。好，这时候因为我表弟在那里，他去设计那个设计那个，因为他们公司有那个鸿海有那个机台，所以你当报价的时候，你就漫天开价，对吧？你不然就不要买嘛，全世界只有我能做，那你又做不了那个机台。那其他的公司不管你什么 component， 大家都可以比价啊，你价钱一公开就没有利润了，对吧？那你这样，所以你要有利润。像大家如果说是未来大家如果要结婚，你就会知道，你就会买。比方说你要买钻戒好了，那台湾的钻戒有个什么？台湾的那个钻石，它那个 GIA 证书，它还给你公开查询，那就没有利润嘞。那国外是没给你这样查询，你去查询，没有利润啊，没有利润，所以那你大家在网上一查，你什么等级钻石多少钱，你就没有利润了，利润都非常少。所以台湾的你要去买钻戒就知道，它靠什么赚？那你说它这样就不用赚啦，它靠戒台赚。你买钻石，那你要绑戒台，绑在那里，那戒台给你利润非常高。对，所以因为你搞不清，大家去买，因为你搞不清楚，你就都买嘛。那其实你如果分开买，你知道，如果大家去任何那种银楼或者说你分开买，那些柜台小姐绝对摆脸色给你看，因为你就没有利润嘛。你说好，我单独买一个戒台，要把自己买一颗网上订颗钻石签上去，就没有利润了。所以我讲鸿海就这样啊，鸿海呢，他说我利润很低，我利润才5%或者2%，对，确实很多东西利润很低，它某些 component 那些确实利润很低，可他给你机壳赚回来，机壳由他砍价，由他漫天喊价，你没办法砍，因为只有他可以做啊。机台鸿海自己设计的，你有什么办法？所以这个就叫利润嘛。So anyway, so that's pretty much today. So this today's cryptographic algorithm, public key, and then public key cryptography does not only enable us to design encryption and decryption algorithms. There are many other concepts, there are many other properties, including digital signature, proof of knowledge, message authentication. These are not known in the conventional cryptography. So this is kind of like a surprise if you have these specific deep mathematical structure, then you have many other benefits as well. So cryptography is not just encryption and decryption. There are many other things. We'll talk a little bit of proof of knowledge later. And also, there's quantum cryptography as well. So this is another round. This is actually physics. Okay, there's some properties regarding this. Okay, let's stop today. Let's stop here. We'll continue on Thursday.